I feel like when I was coming to LA, I did so much search or so much just inquiries about like what life is like over here. So you don't really get like a full tea. You probably hear like, stories about this, stories about that, like, oh, maybe the air is different, the energy is different. Like, you don't really get a full picture. So, today I'm actually going to be here saying or making a video just talking about everything and my experience so far. So if you follow this channel, you know I'm originally Nigerian and I moved to Grenada where I also spent like 5 years, 6 years before moving to LA. And I would say when I first moved to LA, the first 3 months, I'm just gonna be honest, I experienced loneliness on a different level. Before moving here, I was like, I've done a move before, which was from Nigeria to Grenada, so it shouldn't be that bad. I should be used to this. But let me tell you, when you move here, the first thing you notice is everybody is by themselves. So most people are just by themselves. You walk on the road, you're not seeing anybody saying, oh, hey, how are you? Things like that, which is what I'm used to in the previous places I've lived in. But here, it's just like you walk on the road, everybody is just moving with an aim. I remember my previous landlord, he was like, I can't just stop on the road and be like acting as if I don't have any direction. Like, people will know you're not from here. You have to step out and you're moving with an aim, moving with a direction. Like, there was even one day I was on the road trying to just figure out a map, and I was like, come, have you noticed people don't really stop in this location? They're always just moving. It's always like they're moving, and that's how it is here. It's just everybody's is almost like a man for himself. And if you're someone that you're used to doing things in groups or just things like that, it could really take a toll on you. The first couple of months, I really struggled, and I would say my main source of communication was basically speaking with patients, because you're also not in, it wasn't a school setting for me because I'm currently doing my rotations. So it was more like I could even be put in small groups where I could interact and foster friendships or relationships. And it was just basically, I would go to the hospital and those were the people I will speak to. Another thing that also happens is like, most people feel like I have a friend or I have like people here in LA, and you basically come and you realize you're also on your own. You could be trying so hard to be like, I'm trying to settle in, can I meet up? And everybody's just on a different agenda. At a point in time, I just stopped trying to like make meetings or make this. I kind of just accepted the fact that, what, I'm going to be by my own. Because also another thing is most people here are also very superficial. It's hard to actually form a very deep connection. So at a point in time, I was like, what, I don't think it's kind of like I go out and I come back still feeling the same. Like, I just gave up. I gave up trying to go out, trying to like meet people or trying to just like form bonds and things like that. And I was like, what, I'm gonna just stay by myself, go to the hospital, do my thing. And I started praying to God, let the right community find me, because another thing, you don't want to be like, I don't want to be alone, and you end up joining a community that it's not for you. It's rather to be alone than to be in a wrong set of crowd. And if there's one thing you've noticed, or if there's one thing I've noticed in LA, everybody is in this city for a different mission. You can't just be like, oh, maybe this person seems nice, we could be friends. No, you have to actually like vet people out, because people really be having two sides to them most times. Is no jokes. Listen, I literally leave my house and I'm breathing out money. There's sometimes I'm like, what, Sharon, stay inside. Devil, not today. Because of the things are so expensive here. This was the first place that you're actually paying rent 1,300 and you're getting a room in a house. I couldn't really wrap my head around it. Like, where I was from in Grenada, that amount of money would literally get you like a whole bedroom to yourself with like toilets, a bedroom, sometimes even the utility bills are covered. And in Nigeria, you only pay rent once in a year. So coming here and realizing how much things are expensive, I know people talk about it, but it's different actually hearing about it and coming to experience it. And I want to say, I had to actually vet it out. Like, even groceries. Like groceries are super expensive. Like groceries in a week could basically be $100 or $150, like $200. I remember when I used to watch these shows and people would be like, oh, $200 can't really get you anything because of that's not even how much groceries worth. And I was like, huh? What do you mean? In Grenada, $200 would basically get you like groceries for a month. It's basically, if you plan yourself well, it could last you for 2 weeks or even 3 weeks. But if you want to just eat, that money is gonna run through like so quick. When I realized that in the first couple days slash first couple weeks, I definitely had to vet out my spending. Like, okay, if I'm getting groceries, I have to like meal prep, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, so I don't end up having to still spend money outside to kind of like get food and meals like that. And you have to know that, you have to plan it, because if you're not careful, then you just find yourself running through your budget and you're going to be asking yourself like, where did this go through? Sis, it went through you and you went through it. The third thing I want to talk about is the traffic. Yo, LA traffic is no joke. I remember when people were telling me about this, I was like, I'm Nigerian and nothing can be as bad as Lagos traffic. Now, I'm not gonna lie, nothing can actually be as bad as Lagos traffic, but I feel like I underestimated Los Angeles traffic. What I mean by that, there was a day I had to be at a function or venue at a certain period of time. The day or the night before, I checked and it showed me I could reach there. It's 15 minutes from my house. I was like, hi, cool. I could sleep. I could have an extra time. Y'all, the next day, I literally clicked on the function and it took me an hour to reach there. Yo, 15 minutes ended up being an hour. So this is no joke. So when people tell you LA traffic is something, it actually is something. And even that an hour, that was because of it wasn't rush hour period. Like I had missed rush hour by a bit, because that hour could easily go to 2 hours. And my Uber driver even had to use, was it the freeway or the highway? I forgot what they call it here. So yo, we all be saying traffic. The traffic here is on another level. Anyways, other than speaking about the bad things, because of to every bad side, there's always a good side. To every good side, there's always a bad side. So I'm just going to be focusing on some things I have actually really appreciated with Los Angeles during this past couple of days. And one thing I want to say is the weather. Yo, it's currently, well, we're in December, and it's a good feeling to realize I could actually walk outside and not feel chilly. Like I could see sun, like I'm not struggling to be like, oh my gosh, my soul is leaving my body because of it's so freezing. And even when you're walking down the streets or when you're driving through the road, you kind of appreciate the mountains and the palm trees. Like the scenery here is basically on another level. And I'm also coming from Grenada, and they have beaches here too. Like they actually have really nice beaches. I was down in Santa Monica Beach and I got to appreciate the Ferris wheel. It was literally a sight to behold. And also the sunset here, if you're a sunset person, you're really going to appreciate Cali. Like Cali sunsets are literally on another level, and I'm a nature person, so every single time I'm driving through a sunset, I'm just like, God they create. Another thing I want to appreciate also is the diverse cultures. LA has, I don't know how to put it, but it basically has every culture, like just in a nutshell. There are Korean restaurants, there are Asian restaurants, there's African food, there's African restaurants, y'all. There's chin chin, there's meat pie, there's efo ribot, there's, listen, name it. There's Thai food. Like there are literally different varieties of food to try out, food to pick. You just need to have the money. Once you have the money, you would enjoy Los Angeles, literally. Other than that, I'm gonna end with this note because I didn't want to make this video as long as possible. But if you're coming here or if you're planning to move here, one thing I would emphasize you to do is have a mind of your own, have your own identity. It's so easy to get lost in Los Angeles just because of most people are superficial. Everybody is here on a different mission, and it's so easy to want to try to fit in just so that you could belong or you could be in a community. But you have to have certain standards. You have to tell yourself like, okay, there are things that are no go for me. There are things that I can't compromise. You have to have your values set straight. If you're a Christian, you have to like run to the Lord. I always say this thing. I told my mom, I'm going to stay by myself and pray to God for my community to find me. And I was so grateful that 2 months later, I started seeing familiar faces, and not just seeing familiar faces, but people that actually connected with me. Like we went out, we had food, we had drinks, and it just felt really refreshing. Like I would come back and I'd be like, yes, I had an outing, or I had a good time. And yeah, so LA is beautiful if you have the right community. There's so much things to do, so much memories to experience. You just need to find the right community that suits you. If you stay to the end of this video, it definitely means you love the vibe. Do not make this your last time. I hope you subscribe, become a Bella, and I'll catch you in my next video. Bye guys.